What's up, everybody? We're back with another video. CR Sports Analysis. Just going over a quick recap of yesterday's games. Cleveland at Portland. Cleveland money line. It went through. Like I said, they were 6-0 without Mitchell, so they won the game outright. OKC at Sacramento. We had OKC money line that went through. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for 20 plus points that went through. Next game, Orlando at Charlotte. Yusuf Nurkic over 5.5 points. Unfortunately, that did not go through. He ended with 5 on the dot. The next two picks was LaMelo Ball to 15 to 20 points. He went over 20 points, so that went through. And Paolo Banchero, 15 to 20 points. He went over 20 points as well. Golden State at Miami. Wiggins, 15 points, did not go through. And Butler for 15 points did not go through. They were each, I believe, 4 or 5 points off. Bam Adebayo for 6 to 8 rebounds. He ended with 8, so that did go through. Cashed that. This Atlanta-Houston game was perfect. Jabari Smith for 4 rebounds. He went over. Trae Young, 15 points. That cashed. Jalen Green for 15 points. That cashed. Dyson Daniels for 1 steal. That cashed. He also could have alternated him up. He ended with 4 steals. And Atlanta Hawks spread +8. They lost by 7, so that went through. And last game was Dallas at New York. OG for 10 points. That went through. He had a pretty good game. I think he had like 20 plus yesterday. Maybe, I think he had 30 at that. And then the last pick was Towns over 11.5 rebounds. Or you can take him for 10 to 12 rebounds. That went through. He ended with 12 on the dot. Pretty good day yesterday. We only lost 3, out of however so many. So it was a really, really good day. If you would have, parlayed this whole Atlanta-Houston game together with, the Dallas at New York game, you'd have made some good money. But moving forward with the video, I just got a couple player props today. I'm not going over money lines today because today's games do look a little iffy. To choose a money line, all the spreads are really tight in between like 7 and 2. So I didn't have any money line analysis for today. I only got player prop analysis. So let's get into it. The first game I'm going to be talking about is Boston at Phoenix. Jalen Brown, 15 to 20 plus points. 15 points should be guaranteed for him. I also seen that Jason Tatum is doubtful for today. So without Tatum, Jalen Brown does very well. Also look into, Porzingis, Derek White. Those players also do good without Jason Tatum in the lineup. And on the Phoenix side of things, I have Kevin Durant for 20 plus points. Maybe towards the end of this video, after I do the player prop analysis, I will, maybe go over some money lines that I might take, but, they are kind of iffy. The next game I looked at was the Lakers at Indianapolis game. LeBron, 4 to 6 assists and 20 plus points. You can take him for 15 for a guaranteed prop. Luka Doncic, same thing, 20 plus points. His 20 points has been pretty much guaranteed since signing with the Lakers. And then a prop that we have right here, the normal prop is Rui H over 3.5 rebounds. Let me get into that real quick. That is a 1-to-1 prop, so that prop has good value. Let's go over to the Lakers and Pacers game. We're looking at rebounds for Rui Hachimura. Starting off, the last game he played, the Pacers, he had 9 rebounds, February 8th. And then what we also like is how he has never went more than 3 games this season without getting 4 rebounds. So we love that type of analysis. If we look at away games versus Eastern Conference teams, he has cashed this in 22 out of his last 30 games when he's playing away versus the Eastern Conference. And then if we look at just on a Wednesday this year, out of the 8 games this year on a Wednesday, he's cashed this 6 out of 8 times. Also never going back-to-back under. And if we look at 1 day rest versus East. He has never went back-to-back games where he's had a 1 day rest and he played an Eastern Conference team where he's went under. The last time he played, he got 3, so we're hoping for him to go over this game. So Rui H over 4 rebounds. I do see good value in that prop. It could be a sweat, getting his last rebound late in the fourth quarter, but I do think that comes through. That's what I have for that game. And the props that I'm not going over, that I'm not going to props cash to do the full player analyzation, those are just the props that I really think are guaranteed, and they're not really, it's not really worth it for me to go over to Kevin Durant for 20 points whenever he's getting 20 points in almost every game this season. He probably hasn't gotten 20 points in like 3 or 4 games this season. So the ones that are really easy, I'm not going to go into a full analysis just to keep the videos kind of short, get straight to the details and what I want to get out. So that's just that. And then we got Milwaukee at Denver. This is the last game that I did for player props. We got Russell Westbrook for 10 points. I actually can go over him real quick. I do like Russell Westbrook for 10 points. Jokic is not playing. Let's see. Milwaukee at Denver. So if we go over here to Russell Westbrook, just looking at Milwaukee's defense against the point guard position, they're ranked 30th in the league in points, averaging around 26 points per game to the point guard position. Let's look at his points. His line is at 13.5, so you could take him at 14, but 10 does have very good value. He's 4 for 4 in the past 4 games that he's played Milwaukee. Played him on the 27th of February. He got 10 points. In his last 10 games, he's 9 out of 10. And then if we look at home versus Eastern Conference teams, out of 12 games this season, he's gotten it 9 times. And if we look at home versus Eastern Conference teams on a Wednesday, he's 100% on the year. And if we look at home on a Wednesday, all 6 games that he's played on a Wednesday this year, he's gotten over 15 points. So taking his original line at 13.5 could be great value. 10 points, again, is a little bit more easier to get, especially since he probably will be coming off the bench. So 10 points for Russell Westbrook. You just need 5 buckets. Go to the free throw line a couple times. He might hit a 3-pointer. But yeah, we like Russell Westbrook for 10 points. Next pick, we have Giannis for 20 to 25 points. And I do like Giannis today for 25 points, especially since Dame Lillard has been ruled out indefinitely with a blood clot. I hope he, heals up well. It's a great player, one of my favorite players to watch. So yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo for 20 to 25 points. 20 points just to be safe on him. 25 points for value. We got Kyle Kuzma for 10 points. Also, I like how, in his last 10 games, he's pretty much been going over 10 points. Without Damian Lillard playing, every time he's played without Damian Lillard, he's gone over 10 points playing for Milwaukee. So I do like Kyle Kuzma for 10 points. And I also like Brook Lopez for 4 rebounds. And then just to go over some different games that we have today. Well, first let me get into the good games for player props. Some good games that I do like for player props. For Washington at Philadelphia, I do not have player props for this game just because I'm not really interested in watching either team. But their total is at 230, so they're expecting a high total game. So expect some players like Quentin Grimes in that game to, really do good. I'm not really sure on the Washington side of things, that both teams are injured majorly. So I just didn't really look into that game. The only person I would pick was like Quentin Grimes in that game, maybe 15 to 20 points. Maybe sitting at maybe 2 threes, 3 if you want to go for value. The next game is the Lakers at Indianapolis Pacers. Their total is at 235. They do have the highest total on the slate today. So I'm expecting the Lakers and the Pacers for their players, the player props to come through going over. The next game is Boston at Phoenix. Their total is at 221. And then the Milwaukee at Denver game, their total is 223. As you can see, all three of those games are games that I do have player props in, and that's part of my analysis that I do every day is I look for the games that have either a low total or a high total, and I go based off of that. Now, it's not always correct. It's not always 100% accurate, but games with a lower total does have a tendency for players to go under versus a team where they have good players, they have star players, and their total is sitting pretty high. Those games right there have chances for players to go over, like the Lakers and Pacers game. LeBron 20 points, Luka 20 points. Don't take players that have high amounts of rebounds if there is a high total. What I mean by that is, the ball is going to go in the bucket a lot, and there's not going to be a lot of chances for rebounds, for players to get a rebound. It might be only 1 to 2 players on each team grabbing all the rebounds. The rest of the players are, getting back on defense, or they're, making the shot outright. So that's just a couple of games that I do like for today if you want to take a, player prop in this game. But yeah, these are just the players right here that I have for today. If you want to just take a quick little screenshot of this, just a quick glance. And now to this second half of this video, where this is going to be really short. I'm just going to go over a quick analysis of each game. I want to take money lines today, but like I said, they are kind of iffy. These games today will be close games. I think the highest spread is -6, and that's Milwaukee at Denver. They got Denver being the favorite. So let's just get into this game right here. We have the Clippers at New York. First off, back-to-back. In the last 10 games that the Clippers played New York, Clippers have never beat them 3 times in a row. So last 2 games that they played, the Clippers won. The last game that they played, New York was in LA, and the Clippers won by 10 points. New York plus 140, and the Clippers are -166. Now, if you look at the away record for the Clippers, I kind of peeped this, but in their last 10 games, the Clippers played 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of their past 10 games have been home games as of recent. So this stat might be a little, hard to make it accurate. But the Clippers are 15-20 in away games this season, while New York is 24-11 at home. Now, I know New York does not have Jalen Brunson. A couple players are also banged up. They got Mitchell Robinson. He did not play yesterday. Miles McBride didn't play. But on the other side of things, you got LA's injuries. Harden is questionable for today. So if Harden does not play, I kind of like New York to take this game at plus 140. They're not the favorite because the Clippers are on an 8-2 run in their last 10 games. New York, without Brunson, they've been kind of struggling a bit. They won their last 2 games versus Washington and Dallas, but they did lose to a team like Charlotte, and they lost to a team like the Spurs before that. So, I want to take New York, but the smarter team to take would be the Clippers if Harden is playing. If Harden is playing, then Clippers outright. But if Harden's out, I could see New York coming through, being at home. The New York crowd might give them some energy. But yeah, that's just the analysis I have for that game. Like I said, I'm not going over the Washington and Philly game or the Toronto-Brooklyn game, just due to injuries and the teams that are playing. Those are bottom-level teams. I don't really want to force any games or force any props or, anything on that game. I just want to make sense. So we got the next game we're looking at is the Lakers versus Pacers, spread at -1.5. Money line for the Lakers -116. Pacers -102. In the last 10 games that the Lakers have played Indiana, they are 7-3. The Lakers won the last game, February 8th, 124 to 117. And the Lakers in their last 10 games are 3-7, if you believe it or not. They have lost their last 3 games to Milwaukee, Chicago, and Orlando. On the other side of things, Pacers are 7-3 in their last 10. They are on a 6 game win streak, getting two wins versus Minnesota, 2 wins versus Brooklyn, and a win against Dallas in their last 6 games. But if we look at it just by the players, I do think LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, I do think they start to pull it back together against this Pacer team. This Pacer team is a very good team. That's why the spread is so close. This game really can go either way. But if I'm just being honest, being the Lakers being the favorite, there's probably going to be a lot of money on the Lakers tonight. So, I mean, the Pacers do have a chance to, pull it through. But if I'm just looking at the last 10 games that the Lakers have played, the Pacers being 7-3, I kind of want to take the Lakers just based off of the players. I wouldn't want to bet against LeBron or Luka Doncic, so that's just not really that smart. If we go into the injury side of things, LeBron James is probable for today. So if he does play, I really like the Lakers. The money lines might change to plus money for the Pacers if LeBron is ruled in for today. And we also have Rui H is probable for today. Now, I know I did have him as my pick, but I can see him playing today. And if he doesn't play, well, that's just the DNP. So that's just what I have for that game. I probably would take the Lakers money line, just because they are the favorites. But I wouldn't, be lax on this Pacers team. They're 24-9 at home, while the Lakers are only 15-19 away. So this game really can go either way, but I would just be harping on or, hoping on the Lakers team to, play ball, play good ball. James, Luka, Reeves, Hayes. I do think they match up good against, Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, and Tyrese Halliburton. But like I said, that game can go either way. Moving on to the next game. Well, they actually just changed the spread for this game. For the Denver Nuggets, they just changed it to -8.5. And if we look here, Giannis Antetokounmpo is questionable. Damian Lillard is out for the rest of the season. On Milwaukee's side, on Denver's side of things, Christian Braun probable, Aaron Gordon is questionable, and Jokic is doubtful for today. Just looking at some more stats. In the last 10 games, Milwaukee and Denver, they're 5-5. The last 2 games that they did play, Milwaukee won both of those games. Milwaukee in their last 10 are 4-6, 6-4 against the spread. They just came off a loss to Phoenix. And that was a close game. And then Denver is 4-6 in their last 10. They just came off a loss to Chicago. They lost to them by 10. Now that's, on the Denver side of things, they've been kind of falling out towards the end of the season, especially without Jokic. But, this is a very good basketball team. They have good bench players. I do think their bench is better than Milwaukee's bench. So, as you can see, the money line is heavily favored for Denver today. I'm not sure if they ruled out Antetokounmpo or, if somebody else was, if Jokic decided to, come back today, which I doubt it, but at the same time, you never know. But Denver is 23-12 at home, and Milwaukee is 16-19 away. So it kind of gives Denver the advantage to play good at home. Just moving over to the last game of the day, I will be watching this game, Boston at Phoenix. One of the better games today. Last 10 games, Boston is 6-4 against Phoenix. And they have not played yet this season. So Boston in the last 10 games are 9-1 and 6-4 against the spread. They're currently on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are currently on a 7-game win streak. That's pretty good, winning against Sacramento, Portland. Utah is a bottom tier team, and then Brooklyn is a bottom tier team. So those wins I wouldn't really take so heavily. I wouldn't really take those wins as a heavy piece of information for this game. I mainly would only look at Sacramento, and Phoenix. They are 6-4 in the last 10 games. They're coming off. They are on a 4-game win streak. Now I do like this Phoenix team. I know they're playing Boston, but with the injuries of Tatum potentially being out for today, Tatum's not playing. This is a different team without Jason Tatum, man. Phoenix injuries, they only have Bradley Beal out. So Phoenix is pretty much healthy. Phoenix sitting at plus 150 odds. Boston minus 178. So they are projecting for this to be a close game. If I were to pick, just by looking at the last 10 games that Boston has played Phoenix, Boston has never beat Phoenix 3 games in a row. So I probably would be looking at, maybe Phoenix spread plus 4.5, alternating it up to maybe 6. I probably would be comfortable taking Phoenix plus 8. Plus 8 to plus 6 would be very comfortable for me to take Phoenix. But if you want to take Phoenix outright, you could be good to go just looking at the last 10 games that they have played each other. Now, I know some of these games don't mean anything, but they never beat them back-to-back game. After 3, they won twice and then never beat them that third game. So, Phoenix could pull this one out. That is why their money line is very close, and there's a close spread. Now, if Jason Tatum was playing, Boston all the way, but this Phoenix team, 4-game win streak, Tatum's being out. I do think Boston coming into the Western Coast, playing in a late game, I do think that gets to them a little bit. They're not used to playing games at 10 p.m. Eastern time, so that might get to them just a little bit for Phoenix to be able to, come through with a win. So for that game, I probably would pick Phoenix spread. It's very difficult to go against this Boston team, especially since they're on like a 7-game win streak, being 9-1 in the last 10 games. But yeah, Phoenix spread for that one. Boston probably is the favorites. But yep, that is all I have for you today. Just going back over here to the player analysis, just to take one last look at what I have for today. If you would like to, share the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it this far in the video, I very much appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.